I have talked to a lot of people in my audience and in friends and personal lives, and a lot of people are really interested in sync. Like there's so many different people, and I feel like it's just really ever since COVID, everyone's just kind of, this is a new thing that's just really popped up, and people are really interested in learning more about this. And so obviously with any kind of fad in music or arts, there's so much misinformation. There's so many people disguising what the true thing really is and kind of misleading people a lot of times for the sake of money and courses and stuff like that. And so what I would love for you is if you could give me a real good definition of what sync licensing is.
Absolutely. Totally hear you on that, by the way. there's a lot of riffraff out there, so happy to clear this up. What is sync? Well, there are two definitions in my world, because I have the privilege of being able to make the music for sync, and I have the privilege of being able to mentor people in making music for sync, right? That is my bag. So I really see sync from two angles. There is the business. What is the business definition of sync, and what is the mindset definition, right? And I'll go into both. The business side, all it is, sync comes from the word synchronization, right? And when brands want to synchronize a track to their video, we don't really say that. We don't say like, hey, I'd like to synchronize this song to my ad, right? We just, they just say we want to use this song in our ad. But the act of it is synchronization, right? So they pay money for a license to synchronize the music to the video. The license usually has terms, right? Like use terms. So it could be web, broadcast, radio, you know what I mean? The term could also be duration. It could have duration in it. So it could be 3 months, 6 months, a year. And then as you get to the more nuanced side of licenses, it goes based on the company or brand size, who's ever using the music. So it could be 100 people, it could be 1,000, and by people I mean employees, right? So the size of the company. So 100 employees, 1,000 employees, 100,000 employees, that all those things and a few more things factor into the actual license fee, the sync fee, right? So you need to check certain boxes in order to pay this much for a song is kind of the idea of it. So that's the business side. Does that make sense? Do you have any follow-up questions on that?
I mean, where would somebody go to find like these sync songs, I suppose? Like where, obviously, like you make the stuff, but how does it get from your laptop, right? Your finished product laptop to like a commercial, like, or an ad? How does it get? What is the process of it getting there as far as the business
okay
goes?
So that makes sense. I think I want to hit on, so actually I could do two birds, one stone here. So the other side of thinking about sync really is the mindset, right? And I just want to get through this so that it makes more sense when I answer that question, because this is the fun stuff. Okay, so there is a perception of music in this sync licensing space that, oh, it's probably fake, oh, it's probably manufactured, oh, it's probably fabricated to look really good in brand stuff. And you can hear that, right? So the unfortunate thing is that sync kind of gets a bad rap in terms of, the way that it's categorized in the psyche of creatives, right? And we can get into this a little bit later. I have ways of thinking around that. But basically, there is stock music and there is really, really good high-quality sync music. And stock music is when a client who isn't very picky goes to a music library, answering your question there, because that's where the music is held, right? And they say, oh, okay, I'll grab this track because it's cheap, it's fast, it's low effort for me to get it, to secure the license, right? And this is typically seen at the lower levels of the transaction side of sync licensing. So what we would call click licensing or self-service licensing. where the music is just kind of held on a server, and you have a web page, and the clients just kind of dig through themselves. They put a song in their cart, and then they license it, right? So there are no humans involved in that transaction. Now, the good sync mindset, the healthy sync mindset, the new sync mindset is when a brand comes to a library and says, I want a specific track that functions in a specific way so that it can help our specific brand connect with a specific person. I said specific a lot there, but it's very important, right? They come to these libraries seeking music that functions and behaves in a specific way. And this is where you start seeing music supervisors interacting with like sync agencies or creative houses interacting with music agencies and music libraries and custom music libraries. Like there's just so many options, so many avenues, right? But the main point behind that mindset is that humans are behind it all. Humans are driving the stories, and they're trying to find the music that matches to their brand's story. That's where the money follows, right? So to wrap this idea up, the fastest and easiest way to get your music in front of reputable brands is through boutique licensing companies like Marmoset. And how that works is Marmoset has a full server of music, right? Just jam-packed with thousands and thousands of tracks and assets. And they also have a website, and now that's marmosetmusic.com. The website is actually a tool. It's not just a brand presence. It's not just a way to contact the company. Like, it's an actual tool. Clients use it. Creatives at Marmoset use it. I use it as a producer, composer type. A lot of people use it because of the search capability and the functionality there. So clients, supervisors, whoever, they go onto the site, they search for the perfect track, that they'll have like mood tags and stuff that will help align with their story so they don't have to dig and dig and dig. They find the track. Coordinators will facilitate the license clearing if need be, which is the clearing is just the approval for the use of the track by all songwriters. That can get messy. You start talking about one-stop terms and stuff, and we can define that. But all that has to happen before the license happens, right? And then typically the artist gets paid after the music company gets paid. So the money trickle down is end client, advertising agency, music agency, producer, or composer, right? So that's how that works. That is the path that the song takes, right, before it even ends up on a commercial.